Artist interview number 5. We are here with, what's your name?
My name's Aimée Davison.
Hey, Aimée Davison. How you doing? What's your art?
I am a new media artist.
A new media artist?
Yes.
What on earth is a new media artist?
I produce different kinds of content online. I blog. I vlog on YouTube. I produce a lot of videos for YouTube.
Blog and vlog. Wait, what? I know what blogging is, like weblog, like a journal or something like that, but what's a vlog, in case anyone doesn't know?
A vlog is a video log, so it's generally a short video about whatever subject I choose to produce it on, and generally speaking, like it's very personal and intimate, and it's not, it's usually shot with your webcam. It's,
like what we're doing right now?
Exactly. It's not usually edited, and it usually production quality, I guess, is low, but the content has value.
So you make low quality content? Is that what your art is?
No, I said production value is low.
You make low production value.
Production value meaning that it's not like I'm investing a lot of time and energy when I vlog into like how it looks or what it sounds like, or what I'm wearing.
So what are you?
It's just more like an intimate discussion that I engage my audience in.
Kind of like this?
Kind of like that, but yeah, but it's just more me and in front of a webcam discussing whatever it is I want to discuss for that day.
So you're a blogger or vlogger, and that's your art. So it's the content production, is that right?
Yeah, but that's not, I don't just stop at vlogging. Like, I actually have several web series on YouTube, so I host and produce and write and edit and style a show called LOL Pervs, which is kind of a...
LOL Pervs, that's a show?
Yeah, so it's like a sexy comedy web series where I do different content. I sometimes do the video of the week, or rather I sometimes do. I have every Friday, I have the video of the week, the Craigslist post of the week, and the pick of the week, and it's usually topical, so say...
This is a show you do?
This is a show I do, so say...
And it's on topical things.
To do with comedy and sex, so say for instance last week it was about...
with comedy and sex, okay.
Yeah, so last week it was about hetexted.com, and hetexted is a site where women can submit screen captures of their texts from guys in hopes of deciphering them, and the screen captures are then voted on by the general audience. Either he's into you, he's not into you, or the verdict is still out.
You sound really excited about your work.
Well, no, I mean, I'm a little tired right now. I'm actually tired because another thing I do other than just the formatted kinds of videos for LOL Pervs is I'll do other types of content. So here, in this case, it was for my other channel called 100 Jobs, and I followed you as...
Who am I?
You're Ben.
Okay.
As you completed a replacement marathon because the New York City Marathon was canceled.
That's what we did.
So
where do you live?
It was like a 15-hour day.
Where do you live?
I'll tell you in a minute. I live in Montreal, but it was like a 15-hour day, and then today I followed you again to do a video about you voting, and it sort of turned into sort of a video that promotes voting because you got a robocall from Obama, and I used that as the soundtrack of the video of following you until you exercised your right to vote. So I am from Montreal.
You're from where are you right now?
I'm in New York City.
So how did you get here?
Bus.
Why did you come here?
To film you last minute for the replacement marathon that you had hosted.
Why on earth would you do something like that?
Because that's back to why I'm a new media artist.
Okay. Tell me about what's involved in doing new media art. I mean, I know you said blogging, but I mean, what ethically is involved, or what artistically is involved in that?
Well, wait. Before I address that, I wanted to say that part of being a new media artist, part of the art is creating art that has immediate relevance and releasing it quickly. You can't sit on ideas online. You can't sit on it on YouTube. You need to act quickly, and when you see an opportunity of something that's going to trend or something that's significant, you have to show up with your camera and your ability to edit and your ability to tell a story and create the video and get it out there. So you were asking me what is new media art? Is that...
Yeah. I mean, you said your art is new media, and I think you said new media production or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So I don't always know what that means, and then there might be people watching who don't know what that means. So it's just do the clarification. What does it mean to you?
New media is not old media. It's not television. It's not film. It's not the standard forms of media. It's not radio. It's not the standard forms of media that we've grown used to over the last 50 years. It is whatever media ends up online. So I use the platforms that are available online to distribute my content. So that's what distinguishes between new media and old media. It's just the fact that my work ends up and is predominantly featured and created for an online audience, an online distribution methods.
Okay, so you came down from Montreal very fast. I think it was overnight on a bus to come record some event in New York City, and that was compelling to you, especially from a new media perspective.
Yes.
You also said too that you followed trends. Is that right? Mm-hmm. So that's part of your art, right? Is following trends. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So what are some of the things? How do you figure out where trends are? I mean, trends. Just when you wake up in the morning, you get out of bed, do you see a trend, or do you look at that and you get on the bus and you find a trend, or where do you find your trends?
Generally, I find it through watching other people's YouTube videos.
YouTube videos.
Yeah.
How do you find their videos?
Whatever's featured on the main page. Sometimes I look for videos that have been featured on Reddit. Reddit is a popular site where people can upvote or downvote links of content that they think is worthy of attention. I read a lot of newspapers, so I will see what's happening.
Online newspapers or?
Yeah, online. So I will see what's happening in terms of, right now it's all about the election that's happening tonight.
In the United States.
In the United States. And that, American culture drives what happens on YouTube. It's not Canadian culture, typically, that is going to trend as much or to have as much impact as stuff that happens here in the States. So I guess I just see what everyone's talking about. I also use social media, so I also watch Twitter. I observe what people are talking about there, and then if I see that enough people have brought up the same thing, I will then create a video about it, or I will create a picture, like a meme, which is an image that has some sort of cultural relevance that speaks to the language of whatever's happening right now.
When do you know when to stop?
What do you mean?
Well, it seems like to me a trend could happen at any time, right? A trend could pop up at any time, so you could be searching for trends all the time, right? So when do you know when to stop looking for trends? Is it a 24-hour kind of job? Or is it, you just dedicate 2 hours a day, 15 minutes a day?
I don't think it's not like I sit down and go, what's trending? I mean, I do that sometimes for LOL Pervs, given that every Friday I release a formatted episode, which is, the video of the week, the of the week, and the Craigslist post of the week. So I have to, identify my topic matter for that, and so I can complete the project. But I think just the way we live our lives now, especially with our social media accounts, our Facebook accounts, and our Twitter accounts, we're so exposed to what people are talking about and so exposed to media that it's easy for me to pick up on trends, so I kind of do it through osmosis, I suppose.
So in a way. Do they find you? Do trends find you? Is it accidental?
They generally find me, but I think in the case of LOL Pervs, I find it. Yeah.
So you find a trend. Is there something? I guess you take a liking to it, right? Or no? Or
no, I just figure out what I think is going to be powerful.
Okay, and then what's the next step? What's the next step for you?
It is then to create something to do with that trend or that topic.
Is it something? So let's an idea comes up. Do you just basically jump on it now, or do you put it into a log or a queue of projects to work on? Is it basically instantaneous? You just start immediately working on something?
It's usually instantaneous, though other ideas, like any artist, right? I have a book, like I usually have, for instance, this is blank, but I usually have an idea book, and I'll be like, oh my god, I really should create a video on 50 dating red flags. So I'll write, 50 dating red flags, and I might not have time to get to it the day I think of it, and I usually get a lot of my ideas when I'm going on long walks, when I'm relaxed, not when I'm stressed out. I'll write it down, because sometimes then I'll all of a sudden see, like, say an earthquake happens in Montreal. So it's more important that I make a little vlog about the earthquake than it is for me to produce, a video that doesn't necessarily pertain to immediate, huge trends that everyone's talking about. But I mean, I just don't create. I create more than just videos and projects based on trends. I mean, I have created things that I just are important to me. Like I did this project once called Yellow Page Mountain, where
What is it?
Yellow Page Mountain, where I delivered 1,000 Yellow Pages back to the Yellow Pages head office, and that was because I felt that I was being delivered something against my will, and I wanted to use online tools to get attention, because once you have the attention of an online audience, you can then provoke or create change.
You saw yourself as an activist, I think. You
Yeah.
said when I asked you about your art.
Yeah.
Is that Yellow Page Mountain falling kind of under the umbrella of the activism aspect of your art?
Yes, and I do create political opinion videos.
Do you see yourself more of an activist who uses new media than just a new media artist?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're not mutually exclusive. I'm both.
Oh, it's more curious about like how you see yourself. I mean,
Well,
do you see
no,
yourself
but
that way? Or it's just that you see yourself as new media artist as well as an activist?
I'm a new media artist who occasionally engages in online activism. I don't define myself as an activist all the time. I'm not always dedicating myself to pursuing noble causes or to changing the world. I just try to change the world when I see an injustice or see something that I think I can influence or I can change or impact.
So you've done new media, your art is new media. What's a good example of a project that you're working on you feel really proud of that was a really it's a good representation of your artistic abilities when it comes to new media? Does something come to mind? There might be several projects that you're really proud of or you think really are a showcase of your abilities.
Well, I don't do things that I'm not proud of, so it would be everything I've pretty much done over the last 3 years, because that's when I really became involved in new media. Before that, I was depending upon whatever traditional media would offer me, being, getting acting contracts through my acting agent or getting modeling contracts from my modeling agent, and it was only through realizing that online you could publish something and nobody could tell you no that I kind of assumed my own power, and that changed everything. So I created my first project that I was really proud of, which was Fashion Ambush.
What?
Fashion Ambush,
okay.
Which was a fashion reality show that originally I pitched to television, but then television held it up because television usually is like a very slow process compared to new media, like I said, which is always immediate, and there are no barriers to broadcast versus traditional. There's networks, there's production companies, there's money, there's just so many things that, hindrances. They can be advantages, but they can also be hindrances that you just don't have online. So that, I decided I wanted to host a show, so I created my own fashion reality show, and when it didn't happen on television, I just decided to release it on YouTube. And I think at the time I was under the illusion that it was going to be easier to gain an audience than it was. I didn't understand the mechanisms that drive traffic on YouTube or drive popularity on YouTube the way that I do now. And it also, too, at the time, I didn't know how to edit video, and I didn't own a video camera, so I was paying out of my pocket $1,500 an episode to get it produced, so it was cost prohibitive given that ads, you don't make generally that much in ad dollars online. You need to be prolific in order to benefit from YouTube's AdSense system.
YouTube's AdSense system.
That's
the way. Is that how you make money? Is that the system that just generates revenue for you or something?
Yeah, that's one of the ways. You have to generate revenue multiple ways online, but I suppose we'll get to that. So, because I realized Fashion Ambush was cost prohibitive and I was only getting like 5,000 views an episode. I think the biggest episode I did in Fashion Ambush has maybe 14,000 views now, 4 years later. I started a project called 100 Jobs, where I completed 100 different jobs for a minimum of $100 each. And so, because I realized that ad revenue was so low, I baked the monetization, or the way that you generate money, into the concept. So I was going to engage in a mission that I would, perform publicly, wherein I would complete 100 different jobs for a minimum of $100 each, and it was instantly loved by a lot of people. Like, I had my first job booking within 4 hours. I was featured all over the media in Canada. I was even hired by CNN, one of their websites, to write about my projects. I worked with Jimmy Wales, who is the founder of Wikipedia.
What do you think was so compelling about 100 Jobs?
I think it was inspirational because it was like, it just seemed like most people only ever work at 1 or 2 jobs, or maybe I think now the statistics are that people will work at maybe 7 or 8 jobs over the course of their lifetime. People don't get the opportunity to sample different careers. So it was sort of, they wanted to live vicariously through me and see, what is it like to work as, I don't know, a mascot, or what is it like to be a mime? What is it like to write content for Wikipedia? Or actually, I wrote content for Wikia because Wikipedia is nonprofit. Wikia is another product that Jimmy Wales created. But and I think people wanted to cheer me on. It was like the little girl who started, as I had to work as a cleaning lady actually at that point in my life, because I wasn't getting a lot of acting and modeling work, and modeling pays every 90 days. So I was running out of money, and the easiest thing for me to do so that I wouldn't, cut myself out of castings was to, accept temp work, and the only temp work at the time that I found was cleaning. So I think I had that kind of sad story of oh my gosh, this girl, who's a university graduate and attractive and has been in all these different things, why should she have to work as a cleaning lady? And let's see how this project is going to transform her. So I think that was compelling to people.
So you have a story. You had a story then, and you have stories that you do now, and you work within systems, whether it's YouTube or whether it was Blogger, which is what you use, I think, for 100 jobs, or you use different platforms that are founding your stuff. You talk about AdSense. You talk about the influence of AdSense on you. How much would you say the platforms influence your art? If you, for example, if you took away the platforms, how different do you think your art would be? Do you work the system in a certain way? Do you work in the confines of a platform? Is that your medium, so to speak? A painter works with paint. You work with text boxes and toggle switches and such. Is that what it is for you?
Yeah, to a certain degree. But again, I don't just create videos in order to game YouTube's system. But it's certainly the way that they've constructed it does impact the way, the type of content that I produce. Because the chances of you creating an original video that gets more than 1,000 views, I wish I had the statistics on it, but it is so incredibly low that you're better off creating media that respects their rules and works within their system, because then you will gain attention, which then translates into subscribers, which then gives you more of an opportunity to then create what you really want to do, or the artistically, significant projects, at least, whatever you've deemed as artistically significant. So yes, it absolutely does shape the type of content I create. My job didn't even exist 5 years ago. It's crazy. Do I feel that that's a limiting factor? Sometimes, I suppose, but I don't deprive myself from creating shows that are based on my interests. And like I said, I don't have to get held up by the delays of traditional media or the confines of traditional media. I also have a women's talk show now that I just launched with 2 other radio and television personalities in Montreal called Confessions of Venus. And it's actually not doing very well in views right now on YouTube. It's pretty view poor, but I believe in it, and I'm not going to modify my art in terms of, or my artistic vision in that project just to suit YouTube's algorithm. So I do a little bit both. I both have a lot of art that's created and shaped by the medium that I'm choosing to operate in, and then I have projects which are just more that respect the platforms, but are not created strictly by virtue of them or because of them, and are not necessarily shaped entirely by them.
Well, is this a nice word to talk about? Like, some of your art is commercial and some of it is non-commercial? Is that a nice paradigm, or is it something different?
No, it's all commercial.
Almost that surprises me. That surprised me, because you just said something
along. Not the marathon. Like, for instance, the piece I created about you, that wasn't commercial, I don't think. That respected trends.
Okay.
I knew that it was going to gain attention. I mean, it's been featured now on a German site, it's been featured on an Italian site, it's been featured on the Huffington Post. So it did well. But yeah, I suppose that wasn't commercial. That was more
well, I just said non-commercial.
Documentary.
Yeah.
So
sometimes you're not always interested in views. This is kind of what you're saying, right? Yeah.
No. Ultimately, I am, because that's a measure of my success.
That's interesting that you say that ultimately you are. I'm just exploring
for instance,
that.
Say, should Confessions of Venus not generate enough views after a year? We're giving it a year. We're going to scrap the project. It's like they scrap pilots on television if they don't get good, test audience feedback.
Yeah.
If I don't get a certain number of views on a specific concept that I've created, I will kill it and move on to something a little bit more impactful or successful or relevant.
If I play this back, I might be able to think more specifically about what you said. But what I'm kind of hearing is, it sounds like a difference in perspective. In some respects, you don't care whether it's commercially successful or not. But then in another sense, you say ultimately it is commercial. It needs to be commercially successful. But maybe I better phrase it like this: in some respects, you don't care about the number of views, but in another respect, it really does matter to you.
Ultimately over time, as it plays out over time, yes, it does. I mean, although there are some videos that I've created just for myself, and I will never care how many views they get.
Right.
As someone who's doing this as a job, I have to work it as a job and measure my success by the numbers that matter to my continued relevance in the job.
So it's like sometimes you have time for a hobby video? Is that kind of what you mean?
Yeah, or a pet project.
Yeah. How do you find time for that? I mean, as I understand, you have a pretty. What's your week look like? Let's say, does your week start on Monday? Can you find us?
My week is
7 days a week?
non-stop, except for usually I force myself to take at least one day off a week. So say Saturday.
Okay, let's start with a Monday then. Like, walk me through. Give me a sense of what does Monday look like. You wake up in the morning. What happens?
Well, we should actually start on Sunday.
Okay, sorry.
Because every Sunday night now, I have a Google Hangouts.
What's a Google Hangout?
A Google Hangout is it's through Google Plus, which is Google's.
What does a Google Hangout look like? If I were to see a Google Hangout,
it just looks like a webcam. I don't know how to describe it. It looks like a little webcam screen, and it's where you can either choose to hang out publicly with people.
Hang out meaning stand?
No, meaning like you connect to the Google Hangout with your internet connection and your webcam, and you live stream from your webcam. And you can either do it alone, you could do it with someone else, and you can either do it privately and then make
live
money.
stream. So like basically you turn on the camera and other people can watch you.
Exactly.
And then other people can watch other people, so you can have more than one video stream on a screen at the same time.
Yeah, more than one person within the
almost
stream.
like recording a Skype conversation. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
But it's like a collective conversation that you can have.
And it's recorded.
It's recorded. It's only recorded if you choose to broadcast live on air. If you go public and you can just have anyone from anywhere in the world join, then it's
okay, those are the specific. I wanted a sense of what Google Hangout is. So you do a Google Hangout on Sunday, is that right?
Yeah, and it's not Confessions of Venus. It's called Girl Talk USA, and I do it with my friend Lanny. So sometime during the day on Sunday, I need to come up with a topic that me and Lanny are going to talk about. We've now done, I think, 16 Girl Talk USAs. So the next time we broadcast is going to be number 17. I didn't get to this week because I came here. So I missed it on Sunday, and then Lanny had problems last week.
So your Sunday is Girl Talk USA.
Yes.
And then is that in the evening, in the morning?
So I come up with a topic during the day, and then we broadcast in the evening.
Okay.
And then after that wraps, I have to then
upload it.
It uploads itself, but then I have to title it. I have to write out the video description. I have to generate the tags.
How
then
much time
I have
does it take?
I don't know, maybe like half an hour.
Wow.
And then I have to share it on my social media accounts so that other people can see it who weren't there or present during the live
How long is
broadcast.
a Google Hangout?
Well, you can make it up to, I think, a
How
maximum
long are your Google Hangouts?
Well, you can make it up to a maximum of 3 hours, but generally Girl Talk USA is about 45 minutes.
So you take about 45 minutes to do a video, then about half an hour to do the descriptions and like typing that up, and then how much time do you spend doing like the promotion of it?
I would say following it is at least another half an hour.
And this is already at the end of the night when you're already kind of tired too,
Yes.
and it's on a Sunday where the weekend's supposed to start up. So you go to bed?
Yeah, I go to bed after I've promoted it on the social media platforms, and like I said, that's key. I mean, I'll drop the link on Twitter, I'll share it on Facebook, I'll share it on Reddit, I'll share it on BuzzFeed. You know, maybe if I'm feeling ambitious, I'll even share it on StumbleUpon, or now there's the new Dig, right? Because you got to get it out there, you have to get it seen, and the only way it's going to be seen is that you broadcast it not just on YouTube but on other social media sharing platforms. So then Monday I get up and
Monday. When do you get up in the morning?
oh God, it depends.
You can tell my interest in specifics. I like this.
Well, I don't know, 10. Sometimes it depends if my son needs me in the morning. I
have
have
a
a
son?
son who's 12. So he generally takes care of himself, getting himself ready in the morning. If he needs me, I get up at 7, but usually I get
Sometimes you're up at 7 in the morning?
yes, but generally I'm up at 10.
Generally you're up at 10 in the morning, okay.
Because I'm up so late doing Girl Talk USA, I'm normally not in bed until like 1 in the morning.
What's the first thing that goes through your mind when you wake up in the morning?
Wondering what I have to do, what I have to create that day.
Interesting. So, in light of that, what's the next choice that happens? Do you go for your walk? Or do you get on the computer? Or what?
No, I generally get on the computer.
Yeah.
And that's when I'll read news articles, and then I'll come up with some ideas, and generally I will plan a video, and I'll do from 1 to 3 vlogs.
In one day? On Monday?
Yeah, on Monday, but it varies. Like,
So like a video, a vlog, how long it might have... I know we're talking kind of hypothetically what a day. I know it changes a lot, but like just
Yeah.
try to get a sense. Because I think people who have some idea of who you are, they have no idea what you go through. You know? What are you writing?
I'm just writing my week. Like, honestly, Ben,
Oh, Monday,
like,
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Yeah,
Friday, Saturday.
to resume my schedule, it's just I'm always reading different newspapers, and then
Right.
I'm always following trends or my feed on Twitter, and then when I see an opportunity, I jump on it and I create a vlog. But I know that I always have to create time to then shoot the 2 other videos a week that I edit and that are shot in HD on LOL Pervs. On Wednesday on LOL Pervs, I release a video which is something that's an original topic that has nothing to do with trends. It could have something to do with like a global trend that, like, for instance, bronies, like My Little Pony is now more popular than it used to be. So I have to shoot that on Tuesday to edit it on Wednesday, and then the same thing happens on Thursday, where I have to shoot generally on Thursday or some of Friday to release my Friday LOL.
Well, help me understand. I know you think about getting the sense that you must think about you're never just, this is my Monday, this is my Tuesday, that your days are very integrated. You have to think about the projects ahead of time, right? It keeps your mind really motivated, right, and busy, right? Would you say, does it feel chaotic? Does it feel controlled?
It doesn't feel chaotic anymore because I'm used to it now. Like, I make vlogs whenever the opportunity arises, and I have my production schedule for LOL Pervs that I always adhere to. So I shoot on Tuesday, I release a video on Wednesday. I shoot on Thursday, I release a video on Friday. I also write for peepers.com, where I can embed any of my LOL Pervs video. That's an adult site, and I basically feature sexy content from YouTube. It's usually, my articles are usually titled "Sexy YouTube Profile."
How on earth do you keep...
And then, not only that, and then after I release my video on Friday and I submit my article for Peepers, I have a radio show on a real radio station in traditional media on CJAD called Ladies Night. And that actually feeds back into Confessions of Venus, which is the women's talk show I talked about before. And right now, Confessions of Venus is released every second Monday. So I also release that, but I don't edit it and I don't shoot it. I just come up with the topics, and then we have a production company that handles the editing and the rest of it.
How on earth do you manage this?
I don't know.
Is that part of your art?
Yeah, I guess so. Well, it's just become intuitive at this point, but it's pretty predictable now. Like, it's predictable to me. Shoot, edit, release video. Shoot, edit, release video.
Oh.
Create little vlogs whenever possible.
So little vlog is like a minute?
Yes,
30
like
seconds?
a minute to 4 minutes.
How much production's involved? Like a lot of editing?
No, 0.
0 editing, okay.
I use YouTube's video uploader, and I just turn on my webcam and I talk.
Oh.
And I've become so adept at talking that I normally don't need more than 1 or 2 takes.
Yeah.
And yeah. And then the rest of the time in between the vlogs and the content production, I'm promoting it. I'm promoting the content.
I
through
get
all those social media platforms.
shift of topic. I get a sense that, I get a strong sense that news influences you and inspires you. Who inspires you? Are there any people who inspire your art?
That's changed over the course of several years. At first, when I was doing 100 Jobs, who inspired me was the guy who traded up from the red paperclip, from a red paperclip to a house. And other internet project creators, like the guy who danced around the world and turned it into this epic video that everybody knows about, Matt. Where the hell is Matt? But now that I'm not doing an internet project anymore, now that I'm sort of focusing
Your
more on
internet
web
project
series.
was 100 Jobs?
It was 100 Jobs, yes. Now I'm focused more on web series. I was at first really inspired by Epic Mealtime, who are also from Montreal, and I really liked this guy Squeezy for a while. I also like Jenna Marbles.
These are all web series?
These are all kind of web series or their YouTube personalities, and but that's sort of changed because I've grown out of their content because it's become a little bit. I'd say it's become a little bit redundant in a way that it didn't used to be. And
What's become redundant?
Their content has become redundant.
These different web series that you were inspired by?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, who inspires me now? Again, I liked Casey. I like Casey Neistat. He's interesting.
What's Casey Neistat do?
He does different short documentaries, I believe, for New York Times, and he just has a very interesting way of. He's an interesting style, so I appreciate his style. Who else do I always watch? See, like I said, I was such a voracious consumer of content when I was learning the ropes on YouTube, and I used to be so amazed by what people would come up with. But now that I've done it myself, now that I've mastered it, it takes more to really make me, stand up and go, wow, that was mind blowing.
Did you go to school?
Yes.
What did you go to school for?
English literature.
English literature? Did you get a degree in that?
Yes.
Did you do poetry in school? Or did you write papers? Or
yes.
what did you do with it?
No, well, in English lit, it was just a lot of literary analysis. Mm-hmm. I did do a year of creative writing. And actually one of my stories had been about email, was written as an email conversation between two sisters. And my teacher hated it because she didn't understand email at that point. Isn't that crazy how far we've come? So yeah, I did it, and I did a year of drama.
Is that interesting to you that you'd write something on that and then you'd be so involved with?
Yeah, well, it was foreshadowing for sure, and also I got pregnant my last semester in university, so I actually was one of the first mommy bloggers. I pitched an idea to 20ishparents.com, and I had a blog called Aimée's Conception Chronicles.
Do you remember what inspired that?
I have no idea. I just wanted to write, I think, and I think I wanted to be a writer more so back then. This is before I even wanted to act or model, even though I'd acted in high school, and I did act in university. I took an acting course. I didn't enjoy it as much, or I just didn't see a professional future in it. I wanted to be known as the May who writes books, Mm-hmm. So I think I was finding a way to kind of professionalize my learnings. Mm-hmm. So I've always had that spirit of independence that you need online in order to be successful.
It's funny that you said that you were a writer. I mean, how writing was so central, especially when you were kind of in school and out of school. In a way, you seem like a writer who just does a lot of other stuff related to writing now. Does that make any sense to you?
I don't see myself as a writer as much now. I don't enjoy writing. I don't enjoy it. I'm finishing my 100 Jobs book.
And by writing, you mean like moving that pen around on the paper, or is that what you mean, or typing something up?
No, I mean like creating literary works of art or creating articles that are.
Do you feel talking is writing? Do you feel that talking is writing?
Well, no, it's not, but yeah, it's a form of expression, I suppose.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't see myself as a writer. Like, I have friends who are writers and just
What does that say, 100 Jobs?
Yeah, no, I said this is my 100 Jobs book, which I'm finishing this month. It's been a year since I completed the project, and it was such an exhausting experience between, finding the job, working the job, filming the job, editing the job, blogging every single day, that I did not have time on top, and then being a mother, I did not have time on top of that to write my book. And then once it wrapped, I was so happy it was done, because 100 jobs is a lot of jobs, that I just wasn't ready to revisit it yet. But now I am, and I want to do it now before it's been too long. But I think I have a hell of a lot to teach people about what they can do with new media, how they can be new media producers and artists.
Where's your art going? I know you're talking about a book, but where's your art going, you think?
Where's it going?
Can you look at what you're doing now, and where do you think you're going? Maybe you have a clear idea of where you want to take it. But it's almost like asking what your goals are, but less than goals. It's like, what do you think you're going? Where do you think you'll end up in a year? How will it change for you? Where's your art taking you?
Well, I want a major success on YouTube. I want people to know who I am by virtue of YouTube. And if it's not going to be YouTube, I'm going to use another online video platform. I've been talking a lot with Viewer, and I hope to provide Viewer a lot of insight that could help them become perhaps the next YouTube. So I want a major success online where people know who I am, like as a host and as a creator, and they look up to me, they think I'm cool, and that gives me the opportunity to not just host, but also I act and I sing musical theater, so I can do even more crazy, cute videos like that. That's where I see it going. And barring that kind of flavor, that kind of entertainment comedy flavor, success, I'd be not just as happy, but also I want to continue to host shows, like talk shows, and I'm doing that on the radio. So I might even get my own radio show pretty soon on CJAD. But I'd rather be in front of the camera personally, or ultimately I would accept crossing back over into television, getting enough popularity online. That was always my plan, to gain enough popularity online that traditional media would then come to me with the money and the recognition. Even though you can get some recognition online, it's still not considered as prestigious as traditional media. So I almost want to use new media as a way to get back to, I just want whatever I do to end up being powerful, and for me to be paid well to do it. Because right now I think what's missing is that I'm earning an okay living, but I'm not earning as much as I should given how hard I work. And I do the same goddamn thing as Anderson Cooper does, and if anything, Anderson Cooper has producers who can write his segments and find him his stories. And he doesn't just show up and shoot, but even as a hair and makeup team, I don't have that. I don't have that luxury. I can't just show up and shoot, and I have to do my own hair and makeup.
It seems like you're saying that, you want these kind of bigger jobs. Would that mean that that a lot of this stuff would go away?
No, it would not, it's not going to go away, but I might lessen the number of projects that I am juggling. Definitely, if I could focus on one thing. At the end of 100 jobs, I was up for 2 television potentially things. One didn't work out, the network didn't accept it, and the other one wasn't a good deal to option my project. So,
are you living your dream?
I don't know. I guess I don't like the word dream. It sounds too sentimental. I'm doing what I want to do. Mm-hmm. You can define that as a dream. It doesn't feel very dream-like, though. I guess dream would imply a level of comfort that I don't feel that I regularly experience. There's no luxury. There's not necessarily much luxury in this yet. But I've had small victories, and I continue to perform well.
What would luxury look like to you?
Just being paid. I think being paid a little better for what I'm doing.
A little better?
A lot better. Yeah.
What
because,
would you?
Why should Anderson Cooper, for instance, make as much as he does, yet he does less than what I do? He's figured out a way to work the system, the traditional media system that I haven't, mind you. As also his mother being Gloria Vanderbilt certainly helped him. But
would you go to war-torn areas and vlog?
Yeah, but I've done some pretty significant things. No, I don't want to go to. No, that's not in my interest.
What would you do if you were compensated better for it? Like, let's say you're compensated a lot better than what you were. Would you continue to do this still?
Like I said, the scope of the projects that I'm juggling would narrow significantly. I would probably focus more on 2 things instead of 5 things.
So do you think that you would just celebrate having more free time? Or do you think that you would spend more money in increasing the quality of your content? Or how do you think that more money would affect you?
Well, yeah, I think I see it as a means to have a little bit more free time, to not work quite as hard, to not slog as much, to escape the 24-hour machine.
Yeah.
that is the internet.
How would you? It's funny because it seems to me that the machine would continue on whether you made a ton of money or a little money. Do you think you'd just shut off the machine a little bit, or step away from the machine a little bit more?
Like I said, yes.
Yeah.
Because I need to. Right now is my startup period, so I need to work as hard as I can and do as much as I can until I have that break. Like I've seen that break happen for other people. For Epic Mealtime, all that it took was creating a pizza with, fast food ingredients that nobody had done before, and also sort of they, without realizing it, capitalized on the public passion for bacon that no one really knew we had. So it just took that one video, actually it took them 3 videos. First it was that pizza made with fast food, and then it was them doing the epic turducken bacon turkey thing, turducken thing.
Yep.
And that just set them on YouTube, and then since then they've been able to do so much more. Like they have their own line of merchandise, they have their own line of bacon lube, they were being considered for a television show. Ultimately that didn't work out. They have launched now secondary series, so they have like a pop-up video, Epic Mealtime. Everyone knows who they are.
And that inspires you with these things, or I'm not sure what we're talking about.
It inspires me, the fact that they found a concept, they found a format that worked, that resonated with people, and then it exploded for them, and it opened up so many opportunities. They just work with Car and Driver.
Are you on that quest, or do you have that already?
I haven't achieved that yet, no, not at all.
Are you on that quest?
I'm on that quest. I've been on that quest for years now. I have over 1.2 million views on LOL Perks, but yet that's nothing. That's insignificant now. It's crazy. 5 years ago, that would have been seen as significant. I have more views than my friend Craig Boyko, who's an award-winning Canadian author, has, and he's considering a best-selling author. So I have been seen, my work has been seen by more people, and it has been reacted to by more people than his yet. Yet he is considered a bestseller and has more prestige, and I am still slogging away at this. But I believe there will be a breaking point. It all adds up.
Thank you.